talk about violent murder porn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Say yeah, yeah, yeah. Good vibes make it say yeah, 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 yeah. Say yeah, yeah, yeah.
So last night I was privileged to go see a screener of The Suicide Squad, which is not really a sequel to the original. It's just like kind of its own thing, directed by James Gunn, starring Idris Elba and of course Margot Robbie, returning as Harley Quinn. And yeah, so this is going to be my review. This is going to be a non-spoiler review. I'll tell you all my thoughts on this movie. This was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I had it on my top 10. Looked very good. I definitely trust James Gunn. He's very good with character development. He turned a series like Guardians of the Galaxy, something I've never even heard of, and he made me genuinely care about characters that I knew nothing about. My expectations for that movie was low, and he raised my expectations. It's kind of what the Suicide Squad was. I don't know much about the Suicide Squad, except for the movie that we saw a couple years ago, and I thought that was fine. I liked it a little bit more than other people did, but it's definitely not the best comic book movie of all time. But what James Gunn did with these characters, he made you actually care about these expendable characters. And that's what he's really good at. He's good at character development. And I gotta say this, a lot of people are saying this is one of the best comic book movies of all time. I'm going to have to disagree. It is a very good movie. It's probably one of the best DC movies of all time. Is it the best? No, but it's still really, really good. I would compare this to Deadpool, especially like Deadpool 2. It's up there with that. So wherever you rank Deadpool, like on your list of comic book movies, I think you're going to probably see it's around that. The killings were crazy. It's the most random stuff that you've ever seen in a comic book movie, and graphic, and it's great. I love it. It is to the point I was just like, dag gum, they're going there. It's a lot of surprises. I think it's shot very well. Cinematography is amazing. Like I said, you get to know these characters that you don't really, know anything about, but he has a great job of teaching you to learn characters that you don't know. Like, these are not crazy comic book characters, not Superman or Batman, but he has a way of making you care about them. How would this compare to Guardians of the Galaxy? I still think Guardians of the Galaxy is a better movie. How does it compare to the original Suicide Squad? Way better. I think Idris Elba and kicked a lot of ass, and I think the return of Rick Flag, I loved him more in this movie. He kicked a lot of ass. And John Cena, oh my goodness, never really had a lot of... I'm not really a big John Cena fan like everybody else, but man, he held his own in this movie, and I would love to see more of this character in the future. My favorite character, though, surprisingly, was this polka dot dude that I was like, oh, okay, it's whatever when I saw him in the preview. But man, he really stood out in this movie. I think he did probably the funniest job in this movie. This movie has a lot of heart, a lot of soul, a lot of brain, and it's just really unexpected. Harley Quinn, she did great. Of course, Margot Robbie, she is Harley Quinn. But don't expect a lot of her in this movie. I think what the campaign of this movie, a lot of the previews, and I'll say this too, we were taking bets before the movie starts, who's going to live and who's going to die. Don't expect a lot of the expected. There's a lot of people that are going to survive that you didn't think were going to survive. There's a lot of people that are going to die that you didn't think were going to die. So just enjoy the ride. Because, you're not going to call anything. This is expecting the unexpected. This is what I love about this movie. You can expect the unexpected. But again, this is a great step in the DC universe. They're starting to do what Marvel did. Hire directors that are not just, you can't really buy. They're not, the problem with DC sometimes is they have their own agenda, and it's more of a studio movie. James Gunn is not a studio guy, so he's going to do his own thing. This is more of a James Gunn movie than a comic book movie. And I think if they continue to do stuff like this, it's going to be great for their brand. They're on the right track with this. Anything else I could say about this movie? What I would rate it, though, I'm going to give this thing about a B. Like I said, a lot of people are saying it's like the best comic book movie of all time. No, it's not even the best DC movie of all time, but man, it's up there. It's really up there, and it is a must-see, and it's definitely rewatchable. And The problems with this movie, though, sometimes I was watching this, like I said in the beginning, this is like murder porn. This is like violence porn. It's great to watch. It's visually great, but then sometimes I'm watching this, I'm like, so what is this about again? You know, so that's my only, you know, critique of the movie. Sometimes you're questioning, like, oh, what are we doing here again? That murder was cool and all, but like, what was the objectives of this movie again? We know the objective is this is a expendable team that, you know, they're trying to do a mission for Amanda Waller, but like you forget kind of what their mission is sometimes when there's a lot of people dying and blowing up and jokes coming around. You know, like it kind of takes you out of the movie. But is it unwatchable because of that? No, absolutely. You finally get back on the train eventually when they get the ball rolling again. But some of these sides, you know, they do kind of distract you a little bit. King Shark, funny as hell. I think that's played by Sylvester Stallone. Very funny. Different take on him from like the Flash show and the Harley Quinn show. But yeah, definitely recommend this one. I give it a B. If you're into murder and death porn, this is definitely for you. I put it up there with like Deadpool. It's really it's a good road that the DC universe is taking, and please hire more directors like this. You know, this is the way to go. But yeah, if you've seen the Suicide Squad, let me know in the comments what you thought of it. And yeah, if you want to see a spoiler review, let me know in the comments too. I can do that too, because I would love to discuss a lot of the things that happen in this movie. Love, peace, and chicken grease.
Help keep your brother out the streets. Subscribe to my dad's YouTube channel. Love, peace, and chicken grease.